So, I mean, that's a pretty tall piece of brush. There it is. And it was that high up. And we're up here in northern Minnesota. Yet another sighting. This time by two young men out fishing on the river. And they're just minding their own business. So, suddenly, they just feel the energy shift. They feel like something's watching them. Let's kind of start from the beginning. What exactly was going on?
I was going across the bridge to fish on this side. He was down by the dock. And I went halfway across the bridge, almost all the way to the side, and I had a gut feeling something was watching me. I saw I was trying back in here more, kind of where that structure kind of was. And then I seen a light run back and forth here. Right here, and it was going like this, shining, up and down really fast, and then just gone.
What was shining? What do you mean?
A light to go running back and forth. And I thought it was you on the trail, and then I seen your spotlight. I'm like, that's kind of odd. There's somebody back there, and nope.
And you didn't see anybody around?
No one was even.
Because this is what time in the morning?
12:30 was started, and then it started at 12:30, but seen it around 1ish.
Okay.
Yeah. And when I ran across, he was starting to already come this way.
Because you had heard something already.
Yeah.
The whoops.
We heard the whoops, we heard the wood knocks.
And how many wood knocks did you hear?
I probably around 8 or 9 wood knocks over there, and they were fast, repeatedly over. And I heard maybe 2 or 3 right that way.
Well, as everybody could tell, the mosquitoes, you said there was no mosquitoes.
There was none.
7 days ago.
It was quiet, it was calm.
Yeah.
Even the water was calm. And everything, but then as soon as like 15, 30 minutes before everything happened, it just everything was quiet. And then I went across. I've never seen you run that. I'm like, something's up.
So you were running back this way?
Yeah. That's when I started trying to get right in there. We ran and got our stuff, and kind of slowly walked back, slowly shining it. And then it kind of was closer down towards the water, and then that's when we got the photo.
And this is, you know, obviously some blur, some distortion there. You can see a brownish, blackish appearing figure in there. It's the only photo they got. And it doesn't like validate their experience, but it's the whole story that I'm looking at here. Yes, the picture isn't the greatest. It's 75 yards. It's pitch black. These guys did the best they could do. And I give them a little kudos for, hey, they were frightened, and I'm glad they took the time to try to take a picture. Like, where were you standing when you took the picture?
I would say kind of maybe by the bench behind you over there.
Okay. And so that's a pretty long picture for 1 o'clock in the morning. But you were shining your light on it?
Yeah, I was using my spotlight.
Okay. And about how tall you think this thing was?
8.5 feet. That's right, yeah. If I say 8.5, that sucker was tall.
All right, so there was this sign here, and you guys were watching with a scope from the other side of the river.
Yep, my spotlight.
With a spotlight. And it was standing right about where you're at?
About right here. Yeah, roughly.
About how tall was it? Like, raise your hand up.
It's at the top of that branch.
Oh, okay, so now I'm going to head up here by you guys. So, I mean, that's a pretty tall piece of brush. There it is, and it was that high up.
Yeah.
What was the color of it? You said you thought you saw it.
Brown. Like a very dark brown.
Okay. Have you had anything like that happen out here before?
No.
Not really, huh?
I mean, I've been out here probably like 1:30 in the morning on this side, pitch black. I maybe heard a coyote, and that's about it.
And then you came back at what time the next morning?
12.
About noon?
Yeah, something like that.
Because you were up late, and you walked the woods and you found the structures.
Yep.
And I hiked out there with them about 7 days later. And I tell you what, I saw the structures they talked about. Can I say for sure they have anything to do with Bigfoot, Sasquatch? I can't say that. That's a fairly high traffic area, and I believe there's the potential that maybe somebody just kind of was messing around out there, or maybe they fell naturally. So, but again, I'm looking at the big picture here. But it's the only time you ever seen anything like that in this area.
Yeah.
And you fish here quite a bit?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, well, hey, thank you guys for telling your story. And I wish it wasn't quite so mosquito-y.
Yeah.
We would have had a little better time out here. So the sighting was on Saturday, 25 May of this year, 2024. Actually, in the reality, it would have been on the 26th of May if it happened at 1 o'clock in the morning. I was out there with them exactly 7 days later. And we did the fishing stuff, and, well, they fished, I was filming. They told me the story, we talked about different aspects of it, and as I walked around with them, they repeated several parts of it, and the story always stayed the same. You could tell they weren't making this up. They had experienced something, and it sounded like a Sasquatch sighting. They continued to fish till about 10 o'clock, I think, maybe a little bit later. They had to leave. I stuck around till 1:15 in the morning. 2 other fishermen came in. They were fishing on the side where the woods was, and I kind of watched them in case they would react strangely to anything in the forest behind them, and they never really did. And like I say, then I called it a night.